Sure. Thank you and good afternoon. All right. Being an advocate is something that is not easy to do, especially if you're dealing with people from all walks of life. And the hardest thing to do is to be a person of substance whenever you get to speak in front of a crowd, right? It is actually the biggest responsibility of an advocate or a counselor to ensure that whenever he speaks or she speaks, this person listens attentively and they get to absorb the message. That they go home and they are able to share it, or they will be able to share it to their friends, family members, and other members of the community. That's one of the biggest challenges. And another thing is, whenever me and my team do what I call the cultural immersion, we go down to the grassroots level of the community. And it is not widely accepted by a lot of people because maybe they are afraid, they still have the stigma, or they just don't mind. They don't have that what we call the health-seeking behavior. And that is very hard to impart to someone, especially to a very busy person. Because most of us Filipinos, we don't really have that health-seeking behavior. We only go to doctors and have our checkups whenever we really feel something bad. And that's what we are also advocating. So that's one of the hardest part of promoting awareness so far. That's one of the biggest challenges.
Thank you. I have two more questions before I ask the audience to probably ask. You mentioned about stigma. For an advocate like you who's been doing this for quite some time, do you still have stigma about HIV and AIDS?
About HIV and AIDS, no I don't. Basically because I was able to, when I was diagnosed, I experienced stigma. And out of that negative experience, I tried to convert it into something positive. It's rare that, it's very rare that someone can do that. A negative experience can be converted into something negative. I was outcasted by my community. I was disowned by some family members. However, I was able to win them back because I proved them wrong. And after that, I had this confidence that I can tell it to everyone. I'm no longer afraid. I can even tell it to my daughter. I actually have a daughter, she's 8 years old. So maybe at the right time, when she's old enough to understand what's really going on, she'll understand the status. But as of now, sabi nga nila in the vernacular, unti-unti, slowly but surely, I am telling her. So probably there is no more stigma. I can face anyone and let them know that I am HIV positive, I'm still living, sweet life after HIV exists, and I'm still wearing my sweetest smile.
Yes, you do have a sweet smile. Thank you, Sherwin. So probably we can ask someone from the medical field, and since may mga doktor tayo this afternoon. You talk to people with HIV, you study it. You're on the medical field, you understand everything about it. How are we as a country in terms of stigma, in terms of the HIV cases, of the education part and awareness?
Yeah, so yun nga yung unang consideration, no? How ready are Filipinos for the issue of HIV and AIDS, no? So honestly, sa tingin ko, hindi pa ganun ka-ready yung mga Pilipino. That's why nandito tayo. Diba? So nandito tayo, buong puso, tinutulungan natin bawat Pinoy na ibukas yung kaisipan nila tungkol sa HIV at AIDS, no? Kasi hanggat hindi nila naiintindihan kung ano ba yung HIV at AIDS, yung stigma and discrimination, hindi natin matatanggal, no? So nasa sa atin na tayo yung unang nakaalam, no? So yan kasi yung nangyari sa Laguna eh. Nung unang hinawakan ko ang HIV program, down na down talaga. Parang banggitin mo pa lang na magpapa-HIV test ka, parang nag-freak out na lahat ng tao. So napakalaking challenge nun. So we started 2014, no? So parang nag-start kami from scratch, nag-umpisa kami mag-orient una sa healthcare workers within our hospital. Nag-reach out kami sa other healthcare institutions, ni-reach out namin ang health centers, nag-reach out kami sa community hanggang sa estudyante. So ngayon sa Laguna, open sila. Maybe not yet 100%, pero natatanggap na nila yung issue ng HIV and AIDS, no? And due to the social complexity of the clinical management para sa HIV and AIDS, talagang napakalaking challenge para sa amin, no? So we conduct trainings, no? So syempre, ang i-empower mo muna yung medical field, no? Sabi nga nila, ang una daw nagdi-discriminate minsan sa pasyente ay healthcare workers. No, di ba? Tama yun. Pumunta ka pa lang sa isang emergency room, iba ang suot mo, iba na rin ang tingin nila sa'yo. What more pa kung sasabihin mo magpapa-HIV test ka? So yun yung una namin na-correct sa kanila, na don't judge a person. No? Kasi yung person na yan, kaya yan pumunta sa institution ninyo is nangangailangan siya ng something, ng tulong. No? So yun lang yung pinaabot namin sa kanila, and clinically, no? So, nagulat kami kasi nung binigay sa akin to, Calabarzon ranked second in the number of HIV and AIDS cases. And unfortunately, Calabarzon ang walang treatment hub. No? So, talagang pinush namin na magkaroon ng treatment hub ang Calabarzon.
Thank you. Jepsen, for an organization na puro lalaki, all guys, right? Seafarer, of course. How is it doing this advocacy?
So yun, as with the seafarers, talagang talagang highly masculine yung community, no? Bihira ka lang makita ng babae. And still, yung mga old school na mga seaman, they still think that sakit lang ito ng mga bakla, or nakakawin sa mga tuloy-tuloy mga babae, ganyan. So it's totally a challenge na when I speak to them, na talagang na-open yung mata nila, na sakit ito ng public issue siya, public health issue. And sakit ng isang tao, sakit ng buong pamilya. Of course, bawat isang seaman, they represent different families. So, I really heard and seen yung first-hand story nila, how they got, yung mga na-infect, how they got naging 180 degrees yung treatment sa kanila after for a long time sila yung nagpo-provide sa family. Ganun kasi yung mga OFW natin eh. But they really give. Pero kapag nagkaroon na ng problema sa health, especially with something like HIV, hindi nila alam. Talagang kung ipagtabuyan nila, talagang matindi. So, really a challenge. Especially, yun nga, sa gender. Talagang hindi ka komportable. Especially ako, Navy ako. I'm part of the military. So, when I do that, talagang hindi sila komportable. But because of what I do, little by little, the maritime community is starting to be open about HIV in the gender. Yeah.
Ika nga, baby steps.
Yeah.